It's Hyp3r Halloween!
Alright, now it's time to discuss my first full moon film. Full Moon Features or Pictures is a production/distribution company that is notable for releasing a ton of B movies. Charles Band, the head of Full Moon Features, created Full Moon, as well as a few other production companies, because he was tired of how his films were being distributed, so he took matters into his own hands. Whether you like the movies he produces or not, they are plentiful, and the production value varies from schlocky to pretty decent. Anyway, on to the actual subject of today's review, Killjoy. Killjoy is, at heart, a revenge flick featuring a demonic killer clown. Let's go over the story. Killjoy starts off with a shy or nerdy boy named Michael approaching Jada, a girl that he's interested in. He asks Jada to the upcoming homecoming dance, but unfortunately, she has a douchebag gangbanger boyfriend named Lorenzo. Lorenzo immediately shows up with his gang and they kick the crap out of Michael, telling him to stay away from his girl. Michael isn't one to take this abuse lightly though, so he decides to set off for revenge. In the next scene, we see Michael trying to cast a spell to summon a demonic entity to possess his doll to exact revenge. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for him. He's then interrupted by one of Lorenzo's gang members, Baby Boy. Baby Boy shows up to Michael's house to talk to him, but it's a trap. Lorenzo shows up and they shove Michael into his car. Lorenzo questions Michael's intentions about Jada, and they end up taking Michael to an isolated area, and Lorenzo and his gang threatens to kill him. Lorenzo pulls out a gun, and of course Lorenzo's gang doesn't want any part of this. They thought they were just there to scare Michael and not actually kill him. Lorenzo pulls the trigger, but the gun wasn't loaded. It was all a joke in order to scare Michael away from Jada. So the gang picks up Michael, and Lorenzo tells him that, he wouldn't actually hurt him. But it turns out the gun was loaded as Lorenzo accidentally shoots and kills Michael. 1 year passes, and it appears like Jada has a new love interest, which is actually really good that she got away from Lorenzo. He's kind of a douchebag. In any case, this new guy is named Jamal. He's apparently very into her as well, as he tries to hit on her instead of studying. She's still afraid of Lorenzo, though, as she shies away from Jamal's advances. Apparently, everyone knows that Lorenzo killed Michael, but I guess he wasn't arrested? In any case, we then get a glimpse into what Lorenzo and his gang are up to, which isn't much. They sit around and smoke pot and talk about getting laid. Lorenzo leaves the group alone, and the remaining two hear an ice cream truck approaching, and since they have the munchies, they rush to the truck. It's here that we finally meet Killjoy, but he doesn't reveal himself to the gang quite yet. Instead, he says he's an undercover drug dealer that has an ice cream truck and is just dressed as a clown. Makes sense to me. Killjoy magically produces some drugs and says that there's more in the truck. When the gang members go into the truck, they're transported to a different dimension. Killjoy appears and he starts to toy with them before ultimately killing them. After killing Baby Boy and T-Bone, the other gang member, Killjoy goes after Lorenzo. Lorenzo enters the ice cream truck and encounters demonic versions of his gang. Lorenzo shoots Killjoy, but nothing can hurt him in his dimension. Killjoy returns fire and kills Lorenzo. We also get some insight onto how Killjoy was summoned later on in the film. There's an old homeless man that informs Jada, Jamal, and Monique, one of Jada's other friends, about what's going on. Apparently, Michael had used black magic on a doll named Killjoy, his only friend. Michael's magic apparently did not work in the earlier scene right before Baby Boy interrupts him. The evil was unleashed, but only after Michael's death. It appears that Killjoy is ultimately after Jada. Apparently, the true love of a woman is the only thing that can destroy this evil within Killjoy's heart. But realistically, Jada just has to destroy his heart and also destroy the doll. With this information, the three enter the ice cream truck and set off to end the evil. The ending is your typical horror movie ending. The group thinks that they killed the evil demonic force, but surprise, there's a jump scare ending where he comes back. But does Killjoy actually come back? Yes he does. There are 4 sequels and one weird spin-off movie that recaps the entire Killjoy series called Bunker of Blood 7. The sequels range from pretty decent to downright terrible. Actually, let me rephrase that. Killjoy 3 is actually a really good sequel. The rest aren't so great. Killjoy gets very wacky over the course of the series. In the first movie, Killjoy is played by Angel Vargas, but is then played by Trent Haga in all the subsequent movies. Killjoy 2 pretty much repeats the story of Killjoy 1, for the most part. It isn't until Killjoy 3 that the format changes a bit. Killjoy summons a variety of demon clowns, and they all torment a group of teens, so it's basically a teen slasher film. Killjoy Goes to Hell and Killjoy Psycho Circus are, honestly, too bizarre for words. In any case, Killjoy, the movie, not the killer clown, is a pretty neat B-movie flick. It has a pretty unique slasher villain, and I recommend checking it out.